Hey, how are you?
Very well, thanks. Thanks for having me.
So you're in Utah right now, originally from Ukraine. Give us your backstory. Let's start there, and then we'll talk about why you're here.
All right. The backstory is following. I'm managing the largest innovation park in Eastern Europe called Unit City, UNIT.city. Just go Google it. It's really great project. And it was a hard time when the war started, and we were closed for a couple of months, but then we would just get recovery, and the war started in February, and we got back to work. I think it was 1st of June. Yeah, it was 1st of June. And in August, we had a first ever delegation from the United States, led by President Stewart and all his team. And I think there were like 30 plus people over there, like from business, from consultancy, from humanitarian aids and matters. One part of the delegation were meeting President Zelensky and all the government, and then they gone to see the Bucha, Irpin, and those affected places by Russians, and some of them went to Unit City. And it was Friday. I remember the day like it was yesterday, and it was Friday. And Unit is is the place where you have the startups, the youngsters. They are desired to work, to create, to innovate, and it is just a great place to be. And they saw that that we are living like we're trying to live the normal life during the war, and they were so excited. So. I think it was Owen.
Owen Fuller?
Yeah.
He's a great man.
And he called to President Stewart, said that, look, you are not here, but you have to be here. You have to come down here. You have to see this place. You have to see those people. But the time was really squeezed, and said, okay, but what I can do, I can be like at 10:30 p.m. and it was Friday night. So you can imagine that all the tech is like dead by that time, especially during the war. So the only thing that I could basically show was the stand-up comedy which we have that day, and the performers there were also a little bit stressed because how high officials from United States are coming and they're making the jokes in Ukrainian. It's really hard to translate the jokes, especially jokes during the war, because they're a little bit different. We just pretend to be normal now. But anyway, so all the delegation has come, and they sit on the coach, and the guy who was performing was like really stressed. I said, okay, so I need to make the jokes. Okay, what can I? Okay, you guys, you're from America, right? Okay, yeah, we're from America. All right. So you are Democrats or Republicans? But yeah, we are Republicans. Okay, Republicans. All right. So we cannot make the jokes about Trump, right? Okay, no jokes about Trump. All right. But we can still do the jokes about Biden, right? But yeah, Biden, shoot ahead. Come on, just Biden is fine. But yeah, but because all Ukrainians, we feel like we are like we are like Biden now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? Why are you like Biden? We can die any second. So it was the beginning, and it was like jokes on the edge, but in the end, there was very, very nice show, and all the crew was so excited of being in Unit City. I hit the tour, and I told the story about our place, and that's our friendship starts. Then I've been invited to Silicon Slopes back in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
I came down here, and I must say that, I've been to, I think, 29 states in the United States. But Utah is a very, very, very special. I haven't seen the nicest, kindest, warmest people than you are guys here, really. When I talk to you guys, I know not only me, but everybody from Ukraine, we just feel how much you care, and we feel that the empathy of and the culture of you, it's so different. It is so supportive, and this is the place that you want to be, and this is the place in people you would like to spend time with, and and really every time I have a chance to come down here, I just take this chance. So after 2023, I think there was 3 or 4 more delegation coming from Utah, and everybody's getting to Unit City, and we are not just like a friends, we are just like a family now.
Mm-hmm.
And and I hope
those connections are incredible. Actually, that's pretty special. I had to ask, how are things right now in your home country? Obviously, the war's still going on.
Mm.
You do have a new president, United States president, coming in here as we talk in 4 days. We'll see if that changes anything or not. But how are things going?
It's really not easy questions because I want to say much more than the simple answers.
Yeah.
If to be very simple, we just try to live normal life. But this is a new normality now. I live in Kiev, in the capital of Ukraine. That's a central part of Ukraine. And for the last year, I think Russia, I think it was a few weeks out of all year that we haven't had any drones or rockets coming to the city. So you have this air siren all the time, especially during the night.
Mm-hmm.
And in the beginning, it was really like stressful, but then the Patriot system, the anti-missile system, interception system from the United States were delivered to Ukraine, and all Ukrainians start to sleep well. So nobody goes to the shelter. I mean, like I shouldn't have say that, but Ukrainians are sleeping because we know that we are protected, and. But still, you have the sounds, and especially for kids, it's not. I think it makes the reflection on the psychology
for sure.
But for us, for adults, even it was the hardest time, and you saw the drones, because literally you can see the drones out of of your window. It's like a Star Wars, But you go to work, and you see the people. You don't even discuss over it. So you just do your job. You try to be normal again. You try to do your job in the best way. You try to innovate. You try to be resilient, and that's something that is very inspiring. All the other world, because people are coming and say, guys, I mean, you still work. I mean, you don't have the electricity because they Russians just destroy part of our electricity mix, electrical mix, production of electricity. But again, we are so adaptive. You have the power banks, we have the battery packs, we have generators. So you can survive.
Yeah.
And we still are positive, because we believe that when the war will be over, we will be rebuilding the country with the latest technologies. And I think we are number 1 country in Europe in digitalization. And if you put on top of that the latest infrastructure, I think that we have the potential of being number 1 in innovation country in Europe so far.
That's incredible during a war, which is wild. Do you see it ending soon? Do you have any sense for that, just as a citizen on the ground? Do you think it comes to some sort of resolution?
It's so funny because I'm coming to United States to get these answers from you guys, but everybody's asking me that. Well, I hope yes, because. For business, I mean, I'm not really trying to say that it's hard to do business during the war. I mean, you're balancing, because I have probably no one in my circle, and nobody in Ukraine probably is working but not supporting army. Everybody's in. Somebody's volunteering, somebody's donating, somebody's paying taxes, somebody is do some job. Somebody just left their jobs and in the army now. So everybody is fighting, and everybody's fighting hard for like 3 years already. And I think that 2025 is the year of hope, and We believe that this war is painful not only for Ukraine, but it's painful for Russia as well because of the sanctions, and they are working. The latest sanctions have been to focused on the oil and petrochemicals products from exported from Russia. So I think it's really painful for them, and they will be ready to talk. The problem is that there is no easy solutions, because as far as we see, that Russians believe that Ukraine is a part of Russia and that people live in Ukraine. They're not Ukrainians, they're Russians, but it's like a kind of a rebels, that they just get nuts and they need to help us to get back to the Russian world, but it's not. And one of the greatest things out of this war is that all the world around understood that we are not Russians, guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we are totally different people. And now, once you're traveling and you say that you're from Ukraine, nobody say that, Ukraine, you're from Russia. No, guys, we are not from Russia. We are those who are kicking their butt, and that's different.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective on that. What does a typical day look like for you? Like your day job? What are you doing?
Well, I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur. So I'm running Innovation Park, as I said. We have approximately 4,500 people inside of the park.
What does that mean? Like to have them inside the park? Is it like companies, startups?
Yeah. There are the mix of the different companies. I think that maybe 50% out of all the residents are startups.
Oh, I see.
But not the pre-seed and seeds. The startups that they have already the product. Then approximately 35-40% the mid-sized companies, and other 10 it's a corporates. For example, Snap, Samsung, Bolt. They're in our in our space over there. So when I wake up, I go to the gym. Because if you're not making sports back in Ukraine, you're slowly getting crazy, and you need to go to the gym. You need to do some sports. So in the morning, it's like 6 or 7 times a week. I'm in the gym or playing paddle. Paddle is a new religion back home. Then I have my working routine, working with the team. We are also constructing, because this is the construction phase of the project that we have. I think we built approximately 25% out of everything, and we are not stopping even during the war. We are constructing residential parts. We, in terms of the business campuses, we are backed by European Investment Bank, so we are still delivering square meters or square foot on the ground. This year we built the paddle courts, 3 of them. I mean, not this year, in 2024. In 2025, we will deliver another 6. So we will have like a big sports facility inside of Union City. So I mean, there's a lot of things to do. But beside that, I'm also a partner in a renewable energy company, and as I said, that energy sector have been heavily struck by Russia so far, and there's no way that we will be able to rebuild this area using this old technologies like firing coal or gas. Likely it will be renewable. So we develop a lot of new megawatts to the market, and we are getting ready for construction. And we feel this interest from outside, because not only Ukraine, but European Union and Americans now understand that the energy is something that will make market in Ukraine for the next 10 years. So we are getting ready for that. So yeah, we have a lot of work.
Well, you're also a spokesperson for BMW. How did that come about?
No, actually, I'm the ambassador for BMW electric vehicles back in Ukraine. Well, I'm a big fan of EVs. It started back in 2014. that's a funny story behind of that, because my wife, she's an Olympic champion. She won gold medal back in Beijing in athletics, and when she won this Olympics, the sponsors they bought the nice Jaguar, a nice car for her, and I met her in 2013, I think. So it was like 5 years after that, and literally I hated that car, because the consumption was like crazy. You know, it was like looking good, but still it was absolutely not nature friendly. And when we married, we went to United States for the honeymoon, and the Tesla just opened the first stores in Florida. And I said that, look, it was the last day of our vacation. And I said that, look, we need to go to the Tesla store. I said, Tesla, what is that? It's a car. It's a car manufacturer, but we need to get that car. Are you kidding? We have a honeymoon, and we're in the last it's the last day. So instead of going for the nice dinner and have this nice memory, like you want me to go to the Tesla, the car store? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's you don't understand. It's just it's a new technology. So we went there, and they gave us Tesla Model S for test drive. And she said, "You know what? Probably this is the car that I would own." After 6 months, we had that car back home, and and it was something very new for the market. So I was probably one of top 3 first owners of Tesla back in Ukraine. And I thought that, okay, why don't we have those cars in Ukraine? Why don't we support electric vehicles? Why don't we make it, nature friendly? And moreover, that was a period when Russia invaded Crimea, and everybody was thinking, okay, what I can do in this case. So it was a big culture to refuse buying Russian products, and petrochemicals was one of the largest supplements to Ukraine from Russia. And of course, if you are having the normal car, you forced to buy this benzene and petrol from Russia, okay? But in electric vehicles, you're using Ukrainian electricity. For me, it was a big boost, to start this project. So I bought like 10 different electric cars, Nissans and Renault, and one Tesla, and I made this like kind of a lobby project. So I went to the parliament and started to talk to members of parliament, and I gave them the car for the test drive, and explaining that, look, it's for Ukraine. It's a great opportunity, because we are stopped buying Russian products. We are using Ukrainian electricity. The second problem was that Ukraine was always in deficit of currency, of US dollars or euro. So you need to produce a lot to export to get the currency back in Ukraine to pay that currency for petrochemicals. And that was always really hard to do. And with the solution of electric vehicles, you basically refusing of buying petrochemicals and using, the electricity produced in Ukraine. And I've been really great supported by the members of parliament. So we drafted a law, and basically we canceled VAT. We have a tax, VAT, value-added tax in back home, and all the tariffs were canceled. So electric vehicles were really affordable. And now, after like 10 plus years, we see how wise that was, because I think about 20% in Ukraine are electric vehicles. And in terms of new cars, I think it's like 35% of all the new purchases are electric cars. Yeah. And all the infrastructure is ready. The great startups from Ukraine for the charging infrastructure is also in place. They're working here in the United States as well. So it was a great move. So I'm a big fan of electric vehicles, and BMW is something that I used to have for all my life. So I really have the feelings to them, and and they offered me this deal, and I was really great to support them, because they're doing the great products. Tesla is more like a startup company, so they have a great technology, but to be frank, the cars itself is not really high quality. I mean, you cannot compete with BMW because they have like more than 100 years of producing a great product, you know. So now we have what we wanted. We have a great quality of the product, and it's electrical. So yeah,
how is Elon Musk viewed in Ukraine?
Controversial. I think he is very controversial in terms of supporting Ukraine, because in Ukraine now it's pretty much white and black. You know, we don't have this middle colors at all, and I think it's normal for the society that always under the pressure. And we were adore him once he let us use the Starlinks.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have the technology on the beginning of the war, but it was a game changer for the army troops and the forces, because they can basically support the front line with the internet, and the connection was really great. That's something that we had, like we were leading comparing to Russia. You know, they didn't have the technology. So that when he did that, and when he donated, I think that he donated like 10,000 Starlinks for Ukraine. So everybody loved him. Everybody said that, look, he is the best guy for us. Then he started to talk something weird, which we believe he found in Russian propaganda, because it's very, very similar messages. And we start to think, okay, I mean, what's going on? I mean, maybe he needs to stop to listen to Russian TVs or radios. I mean, that's not correct. Then he started to prank our President Zelensky, you know, with this money that he's always asking, but he's never saying that all the money, like majority of the money that we receive from the United States, we are not received as a cash. You know, it's basically the money that is utilized by the American companies to produce the weapon that we will utilize on the battlefield. So it's not something that we have in cash. So it was really unfair. But now I think he's we have inauguration in a few days, and I believe that he will be the biggest oligarch in the world, right? Because he's been heavily supported by the government. He is controlling Twitter, right? X now, and he has a position in the Trump administration. So let's see. I hope that, you know, for us everything is good that leading to the end of the war. If this end will be fair, and I think that fairness is something that people in Utah is really aware of. That's fine. That's fine. But Musk is very controversial.
Yeah.
But for sure, he is the great innovator. He is a great businessman, and he is a great salesman and whatever. But in terms of politician and in terms of the personality, we need to be careful.
Yeah. Yeah. He's super controversial there. I could see that. That makes a lot of sense given everything that's happened there. Finally, tell us about why you're in Utah. I know you touched on this a little bit at the beginning, but just tell us, you know, why you're here now, what you love about Utah, and maybe go a little bit deeper on this Ukraine-Utah connection. Mm-hmm. I found it fascinating how connected Utah has become to Ukraine from the beginning of this war.
Yeah, absolutely. And for us, it's also a big surprise, because I know Utah only because of the Olympic Games back in 2002, right? And Salt Lake City was like everywhere there. But I didn't know the culture. I didn't know the people itself. You know, because I'm managing Innovation Park, I'm always trying to get my team out of the like big conferences. The biggest that we have in Europe called Web Summit. It takes place in Lisbon every year in November, and I think that Silicon Slopes is something local, but like a Web Summit, maybe a little bit less. In terms of scale, but the idea behind is the same. So for me, it's a great to see the companies, what they're talking about, what are the new trends, where the tech is moving on, and not to buy, not to sell something, but just to understand the trend, because we as Ukrainians and as a Ukrainian companies, we would like to bring additional value to the global infrastructure and to global players, right? And we just want to understand what is needed, how we can support, how we can. It's not that it's great that we have been supported for the last years, but we also understand that we need to be needed. So we need to bring something that is unique. We need to create a value, and that gives this picture. Okay, so where you can be valuable. That's number one. Number two is I have been working in investment in Ukraine for the last 20 years, and usually we had a lot of interest from European countries. Sometimes some Chinese are coming, but for the last few years, I see a lot of interest from America, and I see a lot of interest from Japan. And I know that probably we didn't have that trust that we do now for American companies, because still we were considered as a part of the Russian world, which we are not. But now I think that once the great recovery of Ukraine will start, American companies will be looking for the local partners. We'll be looking for the adequate people with experience working internationally and with the project that can be implemented just right away. And here we are.
Yeah,
we can do it. So basically, it's from one hand, we would like to understand how we can be handy, and from other hand, to understand for whom we can be useful back home.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here and to be here at Silicon Slopes Summit. It's an honor to talk to you, honor to have you on the show, and honor to have you in Utah. Seriously.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much.